Alright, today we're shooting the CVA Accura LRX 30-inch barrel 3x9 scope. And the first thing I'm going to shoot today is this big Lee 500 grain bullet, specifically the 459 500 3R, which is sized to 454. And I'll be shooting homemade powder. I'm going to start at 55, work my way up to 75 grain charges. Hopefully I'll find something on the lighter spectrum that shoots good. After I know where I am on paper, I'm going to start to get some readings. So let's see how it goes. Alright, very first shot. This is the 55 grain charge. I'm just going to see where it's printing. Shadite primers. Let's see where she's hitting. I'm going to aim high because I think it's going to hit low. Let's see what happens. Ooh. And I was right. It's pretty low. So I'm going to try to dial it in. We'll see, get some velocity, but that was very soft shooting for the 500 grain bullet. I think I'm going to be going to the higher end sooner than later. There's something I want to point out. You can see some lube on the outer ring. I don't know if it's focused, but that just means it has enough lube, because when the bullet exits the barrel, it should fling the lube off. It shouldn't stick. I'm using very soft lube, and that melted lube around the edge of the barrel is a good sign. These are a little tight at 454. I have to use my short starter. I am deforming the bullet a little bit because I'm using pure lead. You can tell this one isn't the best quality, but we're just getting numbers right now. So just want to point that out. I might try I have a 452 sizer. I think that's too much. 453 would be ideal. So I don't know if I can find one. We'll see. So far, results are pretty surprising. We'll see if it's a fluke or not. Alright, let's look at the speed on the Lee 500 at 55 grains. 957, 917, 940. Of course, we know the high and low. The average is 938. Now, 938 with a 500 grain projectile is a lot of energy. Very, very light recoil out of my 9-pound CVA Accura LRX. Let's look at the target. Fellas, here we are. Now, first shot was a cold bore shot, went down here. The next three, yes, three went here. My first shot was here, and my second shot was like, whoa, where is it? I can't find it. If you look closely, that's two shots touching, almost the same hole. Third one is right up there. So already this gun is firing better than my 50 cal by a large margin. Like I said, that's a lot of power for a heavy projectile. Now at a little bit under 1,000 feet per second, if I'm shooting at 100, it might drop, you know, I don't know how many inches, but I wouldn't want to shoot that past 100, which I wouldn't hunt around over 100 anyway. But that's promising. Let's up the charge and see if we can maintain that awesome accuracy. That is, I don't know, an inch at most. Not too bad. 55 grains, 500 grain bullet. Alright, I think I'll show you guys how I load it. Nothing you haven't seen before. But I did buy these cheap funnels on Amazon. I'll show you how to make a drop tube later. But let's put that on there. I'm going to jump from 55 to 65. 55 shot so good, I don't see any reason to shoot 60. So I'm going to 65. As long as I pour it gently, it won't bind. It'll just flow right in there. And I have my homemade wads, just punched out of some felt. Probably go a little larger. These are about exact size. I used a metric, I don't know what it was, I think maybe 12 millimeters, something like that. Don't quote me. Crunch. This is my screened powder, by the way, the soluble glutinous rice starch. So it's very firm. Another look at that big ass bullet, man. It is stabilizing that fantastically, as you can see. And it's actually getting easier to load as it gets dirtier, which I don't understand. Maybe the gun's just breaking in, I don't know. Between the last 3 shots, I didn't swab it because my swabs are getting stuck. But I did use my brush. So I'm deforming the bullet. So it's a little harder to load than I'd like. But if I keep getting this accuracy, I mean, you can't argue with results. I'll just keep doing the same thing over and over. And this thing comes with a... See, that's getting even easier. I know if I got I gotta go a little more. Yeah, I gotta run a swab through. That's about where I want it. But man, forget what I was saying. Anyway, that's how I load it. I'm using Cheddite primer, not ideal, but you know how caps are these days. Alright, guess another shooting shot. Not that it gives you any information, but people like to see it. What I was going to say before, the ramrod that comes with it isn't threaded. So you can put a bullet down, but you can't clean it using the rod. I think that's stupid. They should just threaded the end, but they didn't. Let's put another shot. This is 65 grains by weight screened powder. See what we can do, guys. I pulled that, I squinted a little bit, but it's still pretty decent. I'll throw another one down range and we'll see what we got. Alright, data for the 65 grains, I should say 65. I didn't delete the old string, I tried to turn it off, it remembered, so I'll get the average later. But just to show you the jump, we're at 986. 959, 989, so upper half of 900, and before we were sort of averaging 938, so there's an increase in velocity, not a whole lot, but we're going to jump up to 75, but first I'll show you the target. Okay guys, here we are, 65 grains of black powder at 50 yards way down there, and look at that, they're practically touching. That's less than an inch, man. That's insane. Now, people talk trash about Lee molds. They talk trash about that particular bullet. They talk trash about the Accura LRX. But man, look at that. It's my pinky, dude. 3 shots. Now, if I had a bean bag, and if I had, a better scope, maybe better glass. It's a 9 power is not bad, but if I had a better setup, I'm shooting on a hard plastic rest that kind of shifts very easily. If I had my bean bags, I'm telling you I could do better than that. I'm telling you I could. This is so far, it's a one-hole gun with 65. Even that 55 with the overlapping shot, that one's most likely me. I bet you I could stack those as well as I could the 65. We're going to do 75. A little bit more power. It's still tolerable. I want a tolerable load. I don't like getting donkey kicked in the shoulder. So, and I'm not shooting at 1,000 yards. I want to shoot a deer at 50. So that's what I'm shooting at. But, you know, if the power is there and the accuracy is there, then yeah, I'll probably step it up. But let's shoot 75 and see what happens. Alright guys, I just want to give you a closer look at the powder I'm shooting. Now, people like to talk trash about screened powder, but and I do too when it's done right. But if you do it right, you get that still less than half inch accuracy. You're stacking them in there. Obviously, my powder's not the problem. I've already talked about how to make it strong with the rice starch. I just want to show you even the grains. You see what that looks like up close? They're pretty thick. They're a little noodly. This is a good size. Doesn't have to be nice little things. I mean, this will not flow through a normal flask, a small flask. That's why I use the dipper, and I put it in my measure, and I just don't close the spout when I'm doing volumetric measuring. But this stuff, even looking the way it does, and this will not crunch into powder. This is very solid powder. Obviously the proof's in the pudding, as I say, and you see the results with your own eyes. This is good stuff. There's no reason to puck. There's no reason to press. Corning is the most dangerous part of producing black powder. So if you can eliminate the most dangerous step, why not? And I save myself hours of time. And I still get just as good of accuracy and velocity. Just got to put in a little bit more. So let's shoot 75, see what happens. Okay guys, just want to make this point here. I am using a squared off breech plug when I use black powder. I'm not using the Blackhorn 209 plug, what they call, that has that dish in there, because I just think you get crap in there and you cannot get it out. This rifle actually comes with one of this style. This is for my 50 cal. They're both, the 50 cal and the 40 are the same, or the 45. But it came with one of these that was black. I'll show you, I guess. Ugh. Came with this one, which I've never used, probably never will. But I bought this one in black, squared off. It's just easy to clean, and black powder doesn't need a hot flame to ignite. This is what I've been using, just so you know. And I'm not swabbing between shots, so I could turn that, you know, what was it, 1/4 inch group into maybe less, if that's possible, by swabbing every shot. But I'm not swabbing every shot. I'm swabbing every 3 shots. So the group you're seeing is with the dirty bore, but that lube, that bullet design holds a lot of lube. That design is for a 45-70. I had to size it down to 454 from 459. It was actually 460 out of the mold. And I just put it in this box. I just cut these rubber O-rings to help stand it up. But it does a really good job. But yeah, I'm not swabbing between shots. What you see is what you get. So let's do some 75 grain loads and we'll see what happens. Okay, I don't know if this is annoying you or not as I keep stopping. I just want to point out my 75 grain load is 100 grains by volume with the screen powder. But I'm measuring, so it's tit for tat when you measure by weight, black powder, screen versus pucked. This is about 100 grains, and 75 is a little over the traditional 45-70 load. So basically that's what this gun is a 45-70 when I'm shooting this load. But I'm going to go a little bit beyond that and see if we can get the same kind of accuracy. Alright, 75 grains. See if you can tell the difference in the recoil, but it's been pretty mild so far. Don't rush me, guys. Alright, let's see what we can do. Woo! A little more kick, guys. I'll tell you, that first shot is 1,004 feet per second. So we're getting up there a little bit. Still not hurt my shoulder or nothing, but it seems like a good place to stop as far as power-wise. Yeah, not too bad. And I'll tell you what, when the velocities may be a little wonky, I'm still trying to figure out how much pressure to put on the rifle when seating the bullet. So I really don't know where there's different charges, means this rod's going different depths, so I'm a little unsure of myself. That's why I'm getting not consistent packing, which will affect the velocity. So my groups could actually be better in time. We'll see. All right, let's see what they say. 1054, 1052, 1004. Average 1036. This is again 75 grains by weight of screen powder, and this is not a load I would want to shoot all day. It's just I mean, I could shoot more, but it wouldn't be fun. So this is about my limit with that big honkin' 500 grain bullet. Let's go see the target. Alright guys, here's our 75 grain load. Now normally I would say that was really good. There's my thumb, so it's about 1 inch. But compared to that, and even that, I think we're starting to open up just a little. But I don't know, the trigger is adjustable, but right now out of the box I didn't adjust it. It is really heavy. My cheap Optima Walmart gun has the best trigger of any gun, and it's like the cheapest rifle. But go figure, the more expensive one isn't as good. But yeah, still very acceptable. I could probably do better. My barrel is starting to heat up. I am trying to pick up the pace a little, so that might have something to do with it. But yeah, still very acceptable accuracy at 75. Maybe 70 is a sweet point, but I tell you what, I like 65. The speed, the weight, the accuracy, everything just lines up really good. So I think I'm going to stick with 65 grains with that load. Actually, when I overlapped this shot, I actually forgot to put in a wad between the bullet and powder. I thought I was going to maybe throw it off, but actually stacked them in there. So yeah, that's it. I guess there's nothing more to say about the Accura, but it shoots good. I'm not shooting the ELR bullets or the Blackhorn 209. I couldn't get it if I wanted it, and if I could, it would probably be super expensive. But this is what I like about muzzleloading. It's just sort of the, you know, organic nature of it. I'm not really in it for just pay a bunch of money and shoot some expensive bullets. I know that works good, but I'm proving here that you can do just as good with cheap molds, cheap powder, cheap wads, cheap everything, except for the rifle. That was a little more expensive, but I really wanted a longer barrel. I wanted a 30-inch barrel, if not longer, and I like the brake action of the CVA. It looks good. I may try the muzzle brake. You can't get the standard muzzle brake right now. You can get this weird one with the holes in it. I don't know if that'll work good with lubed bullets. It's going to splatter lube on it. But I may try that, and if that works out well, maybe I'll up the charge and do some crazy dinosaur loads.